doing, my boy?
Man, we look fresh, man. Appreciate that.
So as you guys can tell, my client really liked his haircut. He told me that he wanted to make his hairline look as full as possible on the front because his corners are receding and they are very light. So I recommended to him that we should do a blowout taper, and he was completely fine with it. And I really like when my clients give me full freedom with their hair, only because I like to give them a haircut that'll suit their head shape and fit their head according to the bones on the scalp. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into this tutorial for you guys. As you guys can see, I'm going up, putting in my guidelines, and I'm gonna come back down and erase each one. And here I'm just carving in my client C-cups before I erase that last guideline. I always like to do this before erasing the last guideline, just because it gives the C-cups and the lineup a little bit more of a nicer pop and a cleaner transition into the fade as well. And finally, I'm going to use no guard lever all the way closed to blend out that last guideline. And I'm just going to open up the lever as needed to flick out any last dark areas that I see. And I'm really just using the corner of my blade, just corner cutting out any last spots. And I like to use the corner rather than the full blade, just because I can get a much more precise cut. And now that I have the fade complete, I'm gonna come back and do some shear over comb just to blend up into the bulk and leave more of a smoother transition. And you really just wanna make sure you're rolling the comb out at a 45-degree angle when doing this. And now I'm going to prepare my client's hairline with some OG Walker glass just to lock in all of those little baby hairs. And I'm going to leave my client's hairline as natural as possible while still maintaining a nice crispy look. And now I'm just coming in with some thinning shears, doing the same exact thing, touching up any last dark areas that I see. And now I'm going to go over my client's C-cups as well as the back side of his beard. And when you guys are doing this, you really just want to keep it right at their natural hairline. That way it'll last longer for them. And not only that, but nobody likes a pushback hairline, so just be sure to keep everything as natural as you can. And now I'm just going to come back and do some detail work with the half guard, just because I did notice a few dark spots on the top of the taper. And it's always important that you guys go back and double check your work whenever cutting hair. Not only will your client appreciate it, but this will increase your chances of retainment as well. Every haircut you guys do is a walking billboard of your work. So just keep that in mind whenever you guys are cutting hair and delivering a service to your client. And here I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat the same exact steps on the left side of my client's head. And it's really simple. With my fading system, all I'm really doing is putting my guidelines in going up, and then I'm coming back down and erasing each guideline. And every time you guys are cutting hair, just remember that the fade happens from the 1.5 down to the 00. So you really just want to try to get a clean transition from the skin to the stubble and into the hair. But that's why I only use 2 guards in my fading system. I try not to make the process harder than what it is. That's why I only use the 1.5 and the 0.5 guard in my system. But if you guys haven't tried it out yet, feel free to try it out and let me know what you think of it. It is really effective on all hair textures, so it's pretty bulletproof if you guys ask me. But if there is any other hair tutorials you guys would like to see, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will get them out for you guys. And little by little, you guys can see how the taper is starting to flow all together. And I always like to line up the C-cups and the vertical bars before lining up the front. And you guys can see the difference from the right side compared to the left. So I'm gonna take my trimmers, going from the front of my client's forehead to the right side, ensuring that I keep it as natural and even as I can as the left side. And I am gonna go ahead and apply a semi-permanent enhancement. And this is really just gonna make my client's hairline look more full. And when this is done properly, you can really get it to look natural and have a nice clean pop. And this enhancement is from Visionary Barbers, for any of you guys wondering. And you can get a discount on the cordless compressor and the dye if you use my code NEVIN10. I will be sure to include the link in the description if you guys do want to check it out. But I really do like this enhancement right here. I have tried out a few different brands, and this one is my personal favorite. And when using the razor, I always apply tension in the opposite direction of the blade. And now I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the top of my client's hair. He didn't really want to touch much from the front side, but the back and the middle of his crown, I did take off a solid inch and add some texture to it. And since his corners are really light on the front, I'm gonna go ahead and style his hair with some volumizing spray and some clay, just to give his hair that extra pop. And right here on my client's beard, I'm keeping it as high and natural as I can while still getting a nice clean shape. And it's really all of these small details that are really gonna make your guy's haircut pop out. And same thing, I'm gonna take my trimmers and go over my client's mustache, just tapping it right above his lip. And I'm gonna thin it out on the top side of his mustache as well. And here I'm just applying some volumizing spray and adding some texture cream. And this is giving my client some more volume on top to hide those thinner areas. And right here, I'm applying a formula from Black Widow razors. I really like this stuff right here. It's just a spray that hydrates the skin and preps it for a shave. But you guys can see how the hair falls off like butter. This stuff does not cause no irritation whatsoever to all skin types. So I'll be sure to leave their product in the description as well if you guys do want to check them out. And here on the back side, the nape side of my client's head, I'm gonna go ahead and begin my taper using the trimmers, followed by no guard, lever all the way open. And I'm just gonna repeat the same exact steps that I did on the left and right side of my client's head. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a very simple system and it does work on all hair texture. And just be patient with it. Some of your client's hair may grow in different directions. Like in this case right here, you guys can see right under my client's occipital bone how his hair grows out to the left side. So in that case, I just angle my clipper and I cut his hair according to how it grows out of the scalp. But just keep that in mind. Sometimes you guys are gonna have to work around different growth patterns or cowlicks. That's why it's always important to perform a client consultation and analyze their scalp before cutting their hair. And here just doing some clipper over comb with the lever all the way closed on that half guard. And now that I got the back side of the taper complete, I'm just gonna come back and put in a few more details. I always like to go up against the grain of the hair whenever using the razor, as opposed to with the grain, because when you guys go against the grain, it's actually taking the hair out of the pore. And going over my client's beard one more time, just to give it that extra pop. I did not apply no enhancements on my client's beard just because he already had it pretty full. And here I'm just applying some aftershave, going over my client's hairline one more time. You guys can see the difference from before compared to the after, just how much more full his hairline looks. And if you guys have learned anything in the video so far, I do appreciate any feedback. So please feel free to let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments. And subscribe to my channel if you guys do want to see daily barber content. I do appreciate each and every one of my viewers and subscribers. And right here, I'm just going over my client's haircut one more time, ensuring that all of those hairs are in place. And if you guys do want to save some money on any of these clippers that I'm using, feel free to use my discount code NEVIN10 on the Gamma website. These are the Gamma Metal Instinct clippers right here. These are Gamma's most recent drop. But that is about it for today's haircut tutorial. Again, if you guys learned anything in the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment letting me know what you guys want to see next. But that is about it. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Man, we look fresh, man. Appreciate that.